So coming to your back, being the lower back request, so come to the back and just take a moment to have your knees bent, soles of the feet grounded. You can have your arms to your body, or maybe you rest your arms to your sides with a little bit of external rotation in the arms, opening up through the chest and the shoulder space here, and just allowing gravity to kind of work the shoulders back. And you might lengthen through the back of the neck here, sometimes lifting the head up, tucking the chin, and then resting the back of the head down helps to just get a little length through the back of the neck so the throat's not kind of pushing forward. And then we just come into our breath. You can close your eyes and begin to breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your nose. And just take maybe 3 or 4 breaths here. As we inhale, we're bringing in oxygen as well as prana, this life force energy into our bodies. And as we exhale, we're releasing anything our bodies no longer need. And this can be stress and emotions and things we might have been energetically carrying around within our bodies. Right? So again, we just take a moment to kind of like exhale it out. And then when we breathe in again, we're bringing in fresh new oxygen that our bodies need, right? As well as this life force energy filling up the body. And as you exhale, your exhales are long. Maybe you can relax the jaw, or maybe into the belly or the heart space. And last breath as you on your back like this, and then we'll bring your knees into your chest more and hands to your kneecaps. And we'll just do a really gentle movement called Apanasana. So as you inhale, we straighten the arms. Right? And as you exhale, you can bend your elbows and bring your knees into your chest nice and gently. And then again, as we inhale, we're just straightening the arms, knees move away from you. And as you exhale, we gently bend the elbows, knees come back into chest. And you might close your eyes, and feel what happens in your shoulders and your back as you're moving here. Good, one more round. And with your in-breath, we'll straighten the arms, knees move away. And then as you exhale, you can bend your elbows, knees come into the chest nice and slowly. Camera issues, I see, I'm sorry. Yeah, it helps to have the camera angled in a way that you can see well. Good, so allow your feet to relax down to the ground, and then just gently swish your knees side to side a bit, and we begin to loosen up into the hips and around the lower back a bit, and you can just gently rock side to side. Yay, Allie's joining. Good, and then we'll come back, bringing knees into chest. And I'm just opening up through the backs of the legs a bit here in the shoulders. As you inhale, we'll take the feet to the sky, arms overhead, backs of the hands touch the ground. As you exhale, bend your knees, bring the hands back down by your hips. We'll do this again. You may not straighten your legs all the way, but we want to keep the spine grounded. We'll inhale, stretch the legs up, and then exhale as you tuck back in. Good, one more time. Inhaling, you can flex your feet, maybe press into the heels, lengthening the backs of the legs. And then exhale as you tuck, relaxing. Good, and then feet and hands come down to the ground and just take a moment there. Maybe your eyes are closed, but feel the sensations in your arms and your legs and your hands. Okay, this is a mental practice where we begin to work our awareness out of the future and the past, and we come into the present, but we use our body, right? And this has a really calming effect on our brains and our minds, and thus our bodies. So we come into body. So from here, let's bring knees back into chest. And this time, hands to the kneecaps on a little bit of circles or rocking side to side. Right, this massages around the lower back and the hips here. This is really good for any fascia buildup. Fascia is kind of like plaque. Sometimes we think of it. It kind of builds up around the bones and between the muscles and in between the skin and the muscles. And if we don't massage it or stretch it, it gets more calcified and rigid, and it can cause a lot of pains through the body. So just this massage is really, really good for the back and the hips and even around and up into the neck and feet as well. So we'll come back to center when you're ready. And we'll begin to work with a few twists. So knees will stay in the chest, and your arms will open up to the sides. From here, we'll take a breath in, and as you exhale, take your knees to the left. But we'll keep moving. With your in-breath, we'll come back through center, and then take your knees off to the right as you exhale. We'll do this a few more times. So inhale as you bring your knees through center. As you exhale, take them to the left, and if you want to, you can turn your chin to the right for a full spinal twist. And then come back through center as you breathe in. Knees will go to the right as you exhale, maybe the chin to the left. Do this one more time on each side. Inhaling as you come through center, twisting to one side as you exhale. Moving back through center again as you breathe in. And then knees to the opposite side as you breathe out. Good. We'll come back through center again with your inhale. And then just rest your feet down to the ground as you exhale. Take a nice deep breath there. And you feel the energy in your legs and your arms, maybe some sensations in the hips or the glutes. Good. And then from here, we'll bring our hands down to our sides. We're going to do a few dynamic bridge poses to open up into the front of the body as well as the shoulders, the chest. So hands will come down at your sides, palms face down. As you breathe in, you'll lift your hips up and take your hands overhead so the backs of the hands touch the ground above you. As you exhale, try to round your hips and your hands back down, so rolling one vertebrae down at a time. And then repeating that. As you breathe in, you'll lift your hips and your hands up to the sky. We stretch into the front of the hips, the shoulders. As you exhale, we want to contract the front of the body to round the back body down. Good. Again, we'll breathe in, nice deep breath in, opening up the front of the body. But then exhale. Again, it takes a lot of mental awareness, concentration to articulate one vertebrae down at a time. Good. This time, let's inhale, lift your hips and your hands up, and we'll leave the hips lifted. As you exhale, bring your hands back down to the ground, and we'll come into our bridge pose that we'll hold for 2 more breaths in and out slowly. So relax your jaw, press into your feet, deep breath in as you lift your hips higher, and then slowly rolling down one vertebrae at a time. As you exhale, bring your hips and your hands down. Good, nice deep breath here, and maybe a cleansing breath. And then bring your knees into your chest once again, hands to your kneecaps, and a little bit, again, movement. You can circle or rock, right, but massaging around your hips and your glutes and the sacrum. Good, and then we'll come back to center, and like before, as you inhale, we'll take the feet to the sky, arms overhead, so we should get a stretch to the backs of the legs a bit. Exhale, knees to chest, arms down to the sides. 2 more times. As you breathe in, we'll extend and open, and then exhale as you tuck back in. Good, last one like that, deep inhale. Nice slow exhale. Good. Allow your hands and feet to come down to the ground, and then just take a breath there. Notice the energy in your arms, your legs, maybe your heart. We're going to do a hip stretch where we bring the soles of the feet together and open the knees out away from each other. So Supta Baddha Konasana. You can do whatever you feel most comfortable with your arms. Bring them to your body, out to the sides, overhead if you want a shoulder stretch or a heart opener here. Right? But maybe 2 or 3 more breaths. Bring your awareness into your body. Relax the forehead, relax the face, relax the jaw, relax the shoulders, relax the chest, the belly, the back, the hips, the feet, the toes. Good. Last breath here. We consciously move the breath in slowly and out a little bit more slowly. Good. And then you can come out of this and take a few breaths to do whatever you like. You might leave your feet grounded, rock the knees side to side. You might go do a few circles. You might find stillness, right? But just this awareness in the body, again, is really, really healthy for the brain. So it doesn't really matter what you do as long as you're kind of feeling. Good. And then from here, we'll bring our knees into our chest. And a little symmetry coming back to center. And then we'll rest the left foot down, take your right ankle and cross it over your left knee. And so we're going to take the right hand into the right hip or thigh area and just kind of press the leg out away from you. You might feel a stretch into the front of the hip, right? Maybe even into your belly, maybe into the front of the leg. And then from here, just gently, just take your legs over to one side and then over to the other side, just a little bit, right? Just kind of feel it. And you might continue to move, or you might come over to one side and be like, ooh, I want to stay here and breathe a breath or 2. But breath is important. Likely you're holding the breath and contracting, right? And so our practice is to just move slowly, slow breath in, a little bit slower of a breath out. Good. And then we'll release the hand, right? And we'll lift the legs, reach the hands to the back of the left leg, right? And we can use the arms a bit to pull the legs in so that we stretch more into that right side. But do relax, again, the shoulders, relax the head back, relax the jaw, relax the chest, and then breathe, right? In through the nose, out through the nose. I like to rock a little bit here, right? But that's not necessary, but sometimes just a little kind of little bit of mobility here adding in is really good. So one more breath in this pose, this variation. And then you can release your hands. Right? And then allow left foot to come down, right foot to come down. And again, a moment for yourself. You might have your eyes closed and just kind of curiously explore, right? What do you feel in the body? You can find stillness or take any movement. And then we'll take the left ankle and cross it over the right leg. Right? And left hand to the thigh, or, you can choose where you place it, higher up towards the knee or down more towards your hip. But just kind of press the leg away from you. Feel that opening into the front of the hip possibly, and you're welcome again to kind of take the legs to one side or the other. You can continue to move, or maybe you just find stillness, but breathe, right? The breath, we consciously continue to move the breath, and this has an energetic effect on our body, right? Also a calming effect on our nervous systems. So when you're ready, you can release that side, and then, not that side, but that hand, and then we'll lift the legs, reach your hands to the back of the right leg, and you can activate through your arms, possibly pulling the legs in a bit, but do relax your upper neck, throat, jaw, shoulder space. Again, you can be still, or you might kind of shift a bit side to side. You might be able to relax the right leg or foot. Allow the right, one more breath there. And we hold a lot of tension in our bodies, and often we don't realize it. And so release your hands, and then allow the right foot to ground, left foot to ground. A moment for yourself. You can keep the feet grounded, or you might tuck the knees in. But from here, actually, I saw Allie trying to join, but then she had trouble. I'm just going to give her a quick text and see. From here, we'll bring our knees into the chest, and in a moment, we'll be moving into table. So you can rock and roll to the side. You can do a big rock and roll up, but we'll be coming on to hands and knees, and we'll begin with some cat-cow breaths in our table. So coming to hands and knees, as you inhale, we'll lower through the belly, lift the head and tailbone up, and then as you exhale, you can tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, and round through your spine. We'll do this several more times, so maybe 5 or 6 more breaths. We'll breathe in, opening up through the front of the body. Breathing out, we open through the back of the body. And you can take variations to these if you like, making them larger or smaller. I really recommend just closing your eyes and just kind of moving a little bit kind of organically or somatically, just kind of feeling into your body here. Take maybe 2 or 3 more breaths. And then after your next breath, you can settle into a child's pose. And so big toes usually touch. You can take your knees closer or farther apart. Try to relax your forehead down to the ground or maybe to your arms. Again, relaxing into the neck, the jaw, the shoulders. Right? And then moving the breath. We don't naturally breathe in a very healthy way. Right? Our brains have kind of been out through stress and years and things, but we're kind of stuck in this fight or flight mode. So we're holding our breath and our bodies aren't getting enough oxygen to repair as they need to. Right? So just breathing in fuller, oxygenating the blood. Right? But then breathing out at least as long as your inhale, maybe a little bit longer the longer exhale is calming. Right? The balanced exhale is where we should be through most of the day. Right? So another breath or so where you are, and then we can get into a little bit more movement. You can come back up into table when you're ready. And then downward dog. We'll tuck the toes, lift the knees, and we'll spend a few breaths here. And you might pedal your feet out, right, bending one knee, pressing the opposite heel towards the ground. Right, we do want to be moving away from plank, so your chest is pressing back towards the legs, relaxing your neck so you're not holding tension in the neck and lifting the head up. And then breathing. Just one more breath in your downward dogs. And then we'll move into a standing forward fold. So we'll walk our feet to the top of the mat. And feet should be hip distance, toes facing forward. And we'll come into ragdoll. So you can bend your knees a bit. Cross your hands into your elbows. And then again, relax your neck. Make sure you're not holding tension by lifting the head up. Relax the jaw. And then just 2 more breaths. You're welcome to sway a bit side to side if you like, or even just kind of shift the weight in the feet and feel how that changes the stretch throughout the legs and the back. Good, last breath, and then you can release your arms And we'll really slowly roll up to stand. So you can try to round, again, articulating the movement, stretching all the way up the spine now, all the way into your shoulders and into your neck. And then just pausing at the top. Take a moment to feel into the body. Right? This should feel really good right now. And this is another time to kind of retrain our nervous system to like accept these good feelings instead of these worries and fears. Right? So this pause is really, really healthy. And we'll do what we call a half salutation. So with your next in-breath, reach your arms overhead. Forward fold as you exhale. So you can bend your knees a bit if you like. It's like a swan dive. Hands come all the way down. And then lift up halfway as you inhale. You might slide your hands up your legs. And as you exhale, we'll fold, relax the neck and shoulders. And then it's a flat back to rise all the way up, reaching your arms overhead. Bring your hands to your heart as you exhale. And we'll do that again. As you breathe in, reach your arms up overhead. Forward fold as you exhale, all the way down. We'll lift halfway up with the in-breath, so lengthening spine here, and then exhale as you fold. Flat back as you rise, all the way up, breathing in, lifting arms up, hands to your heart as you exhale. Good, and then we pause here. Or maybe you close your eyes, and again we come into the energy within the body, the way the body feels. Good, and then with your next in-breath, we'll lift our arms overhead. Forward fold as you exhale. Halfway lift with your in-breath. Exhale as you fold, and we'll stay in our fold again. So this time we're going to take maybe three or so breaths in our fold, and then we'll add a twist. So again, you may do ragdoll. You might take a different bind, just reaching the hands to the legs. Sometimes interlacing the hands, the fingers, and just bringing them to the back of the head helps to lengthen through the back of the neck a bit as well. So last breath in your regular forward fold. And then we'll add a twist. So you may bend your knees a lot to get your left hand to the ground. And then you can bend your knees, your left knee a lot more, but we want to open the right leg up to the sky. I'm sorry, right leg, your right arm up to the sky. Right leg would be fun. And then you can work on stretching your right leg out a bit. And this should stretch down through the outside of your right leg. You might feel it into either your hip or your back. So last breath here. In, and then as you exhale, we'll come back to our fold. So you may bend both legs again. Right? You might come back to your ragdoll, but we'll take a breath or two between sides. Again, releasing neck here. This is really, really healthy for back, and being sure to release the neck at the top of the spine. And then we'll switch sides. So you might bend your knees a lot so that your right hand can ground about underneath your face or so. And then we'll rotate the left arm up to the sky. And we can work on stretching the left leg out, only as much as you need to, right? But that'll begin to stretch through the outside of your left leg. Right, so one more deep breath in. And then as you exhale, we'll come back to center. And again, you might bend both legs. You can take a few breaths in your fold. You can do anything you want with your arms. And one more breath in your fold. Good, and then releasing any bind you had. Once again, very, very slowly rolling up to stand. And try to round through your lower, so you stretch into the lower back. Right? Try to stretch through your middle back. Right? Rounding all the way up through your upper back and into your neck. Right? And then we pause at the top and just take a moment, right? Just to feel, to be here. And then with your next in-breath, lift your arms overhead. Forward fold as you exhale. Halfway lift with your inhale. Hands to your mat as you exhale. We'll come into plank with the in-breath, and then we'll lower all the way down with the exhale. We'll do a little bit of work from our stomachs here. So I'm going to make your upper body comfortable. We're going to come into a half frog, which is a really good way to open up into the front of the hips. So your right knee will come out to hip height-ish. Your foot will open out to be underneath the knee-ish. Right? And again, upper body can adjust. Likely your hip is lifted way up, so we're working on sliding the knee out away more so that the front of the hip is resting down. And then the breath, we breathe in, and you can feel the breath move into your chest, right? Feeling that press into the mat. And try to breathe down into your belly and down into your hip space, so expanding. bringing the breath all the way down, and as you exhale, right, you relax and kind of melt into the mat is the idea. Right, another breath or so. Make sure you're not contracted in the glutes or even in the feet, right, or the upper body. Good. One more breath where you are. And then we'll come out of this in just a few moments to do whatever you like. You might stretch your legs out, find stillness. You might swish the foot side to side, or both feet side to side, or just swish your hips side to side. You don't have to do anything. You might just find stillness and feel what happens in the body. Right? But this internal body awareness is really, really healthy for our brains and thus our bodies. So when you're ready, we'll switch sides. It'll be your left leg that comes out hip height-ish, right? And then the foot opens out to be in line with the knee-ish. And you can adjust. If you have a twist in your knee or it doesn't feel right or it's too much, you can back out. Right? Everything I say is just a suggestion. Ultimately, we need to be, in our bodies and feeling what's best and making real-time decisions. Right? So once you're in your variation of your half frog, again, relax your jaw, relax maybe your shoulders, and try to breathe down into the belly. And then exhale again. There's like this melting, relaxing, releasing any contraction, right? Just letting go. It's a really good way to kind of massage, stretch into the psoas muscle as well, which is really hard to get to, but when we use the breath, right, to breathe into that space, we use the breath to massage the psoas muscle. And so when you're ready, you can come out of this. Again, a few moments for yourself. Right? You might just have your eyes closed. You can be still. You can take organic or somatic, intuitive movement. Good. And then we'll come back to center. Do just a little bit of shoulder and upper body work. So so you'll bring your forehead to the mat and you'll take your fingertips out underneath your elbows, kind of, if that makes sense. So you'll kind of tense your fingertips straight out from your shoulders underneath your elbows. As you inhale, we'll use our upper back, nice strong upper back to lift up. And then as you exhale, rotate your left shoulder down and look over your right. And then inhale, come back through center. And then exhale, rotate the right shoulder down, maybe look over the left. And then inhale through center. This is to stretch into, now we'll go to the opposite side, so the left side of the neck, shoulder space. Come back through center as you inhale. Again, the other side, we'll stretch the right shoulder, neck space. And then back through center, breathe in, and then just resting everything down as you exhale. Right? So a few moments, you might rest, make a pillow with your hands. Right? That's something you could do more of if you like. But just one more thing here. Bring your hands behind your back and interlace your fingers or reach for your elbows. Right? So forehead to the mat. We'll just inhale, lift up, head and shoulders, and then exhale, rest back down. And just do that one more time. So breathe in as you lift up, and then exhale as you rest back down. Good. Release your hands, bring them underneath your elbows, and we'll press back up into our tables, and we'll come back to our cow breaths. So aligning knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. As you inhale, we'll lower the belly, lift the head and tailbone up. And then exhale, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, press down to the hands and spread between the shoulder blades. And then breathe in again, lower the belly, lift the head and tailbone up. And then exhale, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, press down through the hands, spread between shoulder blades. Last time like that, full breath in. And full breath out. We're tucking tailbone. We're also kind of rounding and stretching through the lower back here. Good. And then from here, let's just settle into a child's pose. So hips back to the heels. Okay, you might take your knees a little wider if you want a little bit of hip work here. You can take your knees a little wider for a hip stretch if you like. But in our child's pose, I want to add in a little bit of a shoulder stretch. So we'll lift our head up, and let's do the left arm. We'll take the left arm and thread it underneath the right. And so you can have your left palm turned up towards the sky. Right, you can stretch your shoulder. If you want a little bit more of a twist, you can let's leave the twist out. Let's just do the shoulder stretch. Right, so we're kind of working towards squaring the shoulders back up, right, so that right shoulder is dropping down, Again, jaws relax, breath move slowly, smoothly. One more breath here. And then we'll switch sides. So as you inhale, let's actually take a moment between sides. Inhale and extend both arms up and then just come into the center. Take a moment. Feel the asymmetry, the differences in the sides of the body. And this is just good to kind of bring in more body awareness. Right? And then we'll switch sides. So you'll lift your head up. Thread your right arm under the left arm. Your right palm will face up towards the sky. Right? And you can work on, again, try to melt the left side down, relaxing both shoulders, relaxing your jaw, relaxing maybe your hands, your fingers, your toes might be tense. And then moving the breath slowly in, more slowly out. Again, we want to come back to this kind of melting, relaxing, letting go, releasing, feeling with the exhale. Good, and then from here we'll come back to center. So as you inhale, you can lift your head up, right? Stretch both arms out as you exhale, relaxing the forehead down. And again, you might find stillness. I like a little sway sometimes where I kind of rock the forehead side to side and kind of shift the shoulders side to side. This is good kind of for hips as well as shoulders as well as everything. So again, not necessary, but again, just adding in these little micro movements can really do a lot for mobility and a lot of fascia work too. So optional. But when you're ready, we'll come back up into our tables. And from our tables, just a moment or two, we're going to come into, I keep saying I'm realizing that. It's really annoying. Just stop. We're going to come into our cat-cows, but this time to focus more on the lower back. We'll round through our cats with the exhale, but also keep your chin tucked as you round your hips back towards your heels. And then as you breathe in again, you can rise up. You can arch as much as you like. That's not what is important here, but the exhale is important where we round through cat, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, and take hips back towards your heels. Again, you can breathe in and lift up, coming out of it. And as you exhale, right, we round, empty, really getting into the back of the body. Maybe one more like that. Good, exhaling all the breath out. And then we'll just come up into table with an inhale. And then we'll come into a seated posture with the exhale. So we'll swing the feet around. And we'll come into seated. A couple cat-cow breaths from seated. So hands can come to the knees. Yeah, you can sit up on something. That's an excellent idea. You can grab a block or a pillow if you feel like you're kind of rounded back in a seated posture and it's hard to sit upright. It really helps to lift the hips so that then the spine can lengthen. So again, good technique. But from here, we'll breathe in, kind of pull the heart forward. We want to lift the chin, so we're stretching in the throat. And then exhale as you tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, kind of roll the shoulders forward, stretching the back of the body. And then inhale, pull the heart forward. We're stretching the front of the body here. Exhale, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone. You can roll the shoulders forward. Last one like that. Inhaling. And exhaling. Good. And then a neutral spine as you inhale. And stillness as you exhale. Just take a breath here. Feel the energy within your body. And closing your eyes is helpful, but not necessary either. Good. From here, we're going to work with our deer pose. I think we did this last week. Good, we got a clap from home. Deer pose. It's a good one. So you'll begin, we're working towards right angles with your legs off to your right. So your left leg will come straight out from your hip in your shoulder-ish. Right angle here. And then your right leg should be straight out from your opposite shoulder-ish. Sometimes we'll have it forward or too far back, but we want it kind of straight out. And then right angles-ish. Again, if you have a twist in your knee, fix it. We don't want the knees to be injured. So twisted is no good. We don't want that. From here, we got a lot of things we can work on, and you're welcome to stay with me or tune me out and do your own thing, but you can work on just getting both sit bones down so that we're lengthening up through. Yeah, right? Some of us are leaning over here. But that is a good one. I see you at home. So a really nice thing to do here is you can actually come down to your left elbow. and that will open up through this side body. And you can take, this will be more side body work, but we have a lot of restrictions here, so this is good work. You would take your right hand to the back of the head. You'll take an inhale, and as you exhale, you'll rotate that right elbow down, maybe even take it across to the opposite elbow. And then as you inhale, you can lift and open up. This is not necessary, but again, just good for mobility and fascia work. And you exhale, you kind of rotate down. That should work through the whole right side of the body. Right, another few breaths to do as you wish. You're welcome. You might even come down and then stay there for a few breaths and just work on breathing there. Right, you may stay up the whole time as well, so you choose. Right, several more breaths. Right, in slowly. Out more slowly. Good. Another round or so of breath. And then you can come out and take several breaths to do whatever you want. And we'll allow a good 5 or 6 more breaths before we switch sides. So, and you might work upright. There's a lot you can do upright. I was doing cat-cow tilts here. This really works around within the hip and again works all the fascia and the crunchies, kind of works away the plaque that builds up. Right, but again, none of it, you can work on lateral stretches, you can work on folding forward too. But we'll take another maybe 2 or so breaths, and then after that we'll switch sides. Yeah, deer pose is a really good one. There's a lot you can do within it. So I reckon, like, if you, even at night before bed, if you're, if you have some time, just take like 5 minutes total. And that's, close your eyes, come into the body, breathe, feel, do a couple stretches. This would be a great one to do. And then that's it, 5 or 10 minutes, and then that you can feel and rest a lot better. But other side, it'd be the right leg straight out in front of you, right angle-ish, left leg out to the side, right angle-ish in the knee. Again, you can work on sitting upright, trying to get both sit bones down, lengthen up through the spine. You can do cat-cow tilts, lateral stretches, forward fold. What we did on the other side is kind of lean over so that your right arm comes down to the mat. You would take your left hand behind the back of the head, take a breath in. So you would have like your knee, your hip, your shoulders all in alignment. It would be an inhale, and as you exhale, kind of rotate that left shoulder down. And you can inhale and open, lift up, and then exhale and rotate it down. Again, none of this is necessary. You can do whatever variation of your deer that you like. Right? You might take a few of those movements with breath and then work on just working both elbows down to the ground and then breathing there. A lot of options, but wherever you are, try to breathe, try to release the contraction in the face and the hands, maybe the toes. And breaths in are full, breaths out are maybe, there should be equal or maybe a little bit longer, right? We don't want our inhales to be longer than our exhales. That makes us anxious. Right, so last breath where you are, and you can come out. Again, we'll take a good 5 or 6 breaths. Again, to do whatever you want. You might come into Shavasana. You might find movement, or you might need your workout in now. Get some chaturangas, so personal, whatever you need. Right? Be curious of how the body responds, how the mind responds. Right? This introspection is really, really healthy. So, when you're ready, we shall do a Baddha Konasana, coming back to symmetry a bit, bringing the soles of the feet together. Yep, good job. Sit at home. You can grab your block again if you feel like, if it feels like you can't, we're going to try to fold forward, right? If you're here and there's no space, then grab a block or a pillow, right? And then from here, you're halfway there, and we can use the weight of the body to kind of work with us instead of against us. So, soles of the feet together, right? We're folding forward, relaxing neck and jaw and shoulders, and consciously moving the breath. Right? We don't realize how much we're holding our breath, and just again bringing in the oxygen that the body desperately needs is a really healthy practice. Right? And then we slow the exhale down. It has an energetic effect as well as a neurobiological effect on our bodies. Right? So last breath where you are, and then you can lift up. A few moments for yourself. I like some neck stretches sometimes, or a twist, and you do you. We're going to be coming to our backs. No, I do want to do one more. I'm sorry for making you move. I do want to do a seated forward fold, just to get into the hamstrings a little bit more and the back. However, a lot of times our lower backs are so locked up that when we fold, they don't move, but our hamstrings do, and we feel our hamstrings stretching, right? So we say, oh, our hamstrings are so tight, but really it's a lot of times lower back. So if we kind of bend the knees, and we want to think more about stretching, and so that we can adjust so that we get the lower back stretched out, we find a lot more progress in our forward fold flexibility, and that our hamstrings suddenly become a lot more flexible, when in reality the problem was in the lower back, and we begin to release that, and suddenly we're folding much deeper. Right, so relax your upper back, the neck kind of drop, yeah, and then breathe in, long breath out. Right, knees don't have to, you can just take a deep bend however you need to, but again, just trying to bring some awareness and breath into that space in the back, and long, slow breaths out. Good, and then whenever you're ready, you can lift your head back up. Again, you might keep your eyes closed, but notice what you feel in the body, right? You can be still, or you might take a little bit of movement. Now we'll head to our backs. So, bring knees into chest. Hands to your kneecaps again, and take a moment. You might be still, you might come back to those circles or rocking side to side. Right? But just, again, feeling into the body. Feel the mat beneath you. Feel how the weight and the massage changes as you shift your weight. Yeah, really good for fascia mobility within the hips, as well as alleviating pains in the lower back. So from here, we'll come back to center. And then let's stretch the left leg out along the mat. Allow that heel to relax down. And then just take a moment. You can pull your knee into your chest more, and just you might feel a stretch into the front of the left hip. And then just a little bit of mobility. We'll just do a few circles. So we'll take the knee out and then circle it back in. All right, go slow, and you might close your eyes. And relax the jaw and the face, and just feel how, as you circle around, there's different sensations, right? Some of it might be a little crunchy feeling, a little bit of a dull stretch. Some of it might be a little, sharper of a stretch, maybe. We just want to kind of come into feeling, and just that sending your awareness back into the body and allowing the mind to stop analyzing and working and looking out for the future or the past, right, and just coming into right now, again, is so healthy for mind and body. Good, so we'll come back to center whenever you're ready, and then we'll come into a twist. So we'll take the opposite hand to the knee, and we'll open the right arm out to the right side. Right, palm turned upwards, and this will help to stretch into the shoulder and the bicep as well, but we'll breathe in, and then take your knee to your left as you breathe out. And notice, likely you're contracted and holding the breath, so relax your jaw, relax maybe your hands or your feet, relax, allow your head to turn either direction, and then try to breathe. It's hard, right, but it's a really powerful practice. And as we inhale deep and full, we're stretching our bodies from the inside out. And as we exhale, slower than our inhale, and relax as we do it, we tell our bodies that, hey, we're safe now. We're not in danger. Right? Relax, come back into just resting. Right? So one more breath in your twist. And then we'll come out of the twist. Take 2, 3, maybe even 4 breaths to do whatever you like. You might come back to those hip circles. You might just ground the foot and be still. Sometimes a half happy baby pose is nice, right? But just a few moments for yourself, and nothing right or wrong to do. Just what do you need, right? Kind of what does your body need? And then, when you're ready, we switch sides. So I like to bring both knees into the chest first, just to kind of reset the pelvis, and then from there it would be extending your right leg out along the mat. And just allow that heel to rest down. You can bring your hands to your knee or your shin, and you give it a big squeeze. Yeah, ankle circles, I see that. That's an excellent idea. Circling the ankle one way and the other. Wonderful. And then a little bit of hip mobility. So right hand can adjust wherever you like, but you just want to guide the left knee around in some slow, mindful circles. And I really recommend closing the eyes if you're comfortable, but feeling all the way around, knowing that this is really healthy for the brain and the body. Right? And just slow, steady breath. Right? It's hard, but try to keep breathing in slowly, breathing out a little bit more slowly. Good. Maybe another round or two. You might switch directions even if you like, or you might even just continue with half circles, or you might find a spot where you're like, oh, I need to stay here, right? So your practice, your body. And then we'll come into our twist when you're ready, taking your right hand to the outside of the knee. So opposite hand to knee, left hand to the outside of the body, shoulder height-ish, palm turned upwards. And then we take the knee across the midline. Good. Again, check in. Right? Breathe, relax, notice what you can feel as you inhale. Where does the body stretch or open? What new sensation can you feel? And as you exhale, is there any place that's contracted that maybe you can let go? Last breath where you are. And I didn't mention on the other side, but I like to play around with even straightening that left leg, feeling how that affects different things in the body. But you can come out of your twist whenever you're ready and take a few breaths for yourself. And again, I recommend just closing your eyes. Allow the body to guide you, not necessarily the mind. Right? What does the body need? Right? Movement, stillness, a weird stretch in some way, or right? Everything. All is okay. Right? Whatever movement, whatever you find. Good. And then we'll come back to center, knees to chest when you're ready. We'll come back to hands to kneecaps and just a little bit of mobility again. Circling the knees, rocking side to side. I like to work the knees independently. Sometimes I'll just take one knee, the other knee, or I'll get into like a motion of like pulling one knee in, the other knee in. But all is really good just to massage around and get some mobility in the lower back and in the hip space. And again, really, really, really good for body. So when you are ready, we'll come back to center. And then rest your hands and feet to the ground. And just take a moment. Notice, see if there's anything else you would like for your practice. Our next pose together is Shavasana. Oftentimes, though, we'll add in some form of an inversion. You might add in another different hamstring stretch or shoulder stretch or twist or hip stretch. You don't have to do anything, but just see. Again, you might kind of make it up. See, if the body just needs a little wiggle or some other kind of stretch of some sort. But then once you're ready, we'll settle into our Shavasanas, which is our final resting pose. I don't do it because I'm supposed to maintain awareness and, and spend some time, but your practice at home when you're ready is to come into your Shavasana where you're just extended out along the mat. Right, legs a little wider than hip distance, toes roll outwards, arms to the sides, a little bit of space between the arms and the ribs. We want an external rotation of the arms. However, if you have any discomfort, you can, in the lower back, you can place something under your knees or bend your knees completely and bring the soles of the feet to the mat. You're welcome to adjust your arms as well to make yourself just more comfortable, more relaxed. But we're going for effortlessness. So take a moment and scan your body. Right? Allow every part of your body to relax completely. And this takes awareness because we unconsciously tense up and we carry around stress and worry and fear and sadness within our body. So we have to check in and feel, oh man, I didn't realize I was so tense there. And just allow it to relax and release. Right? And the mind will want to continue to work and, say you need to do this now, and you need to think about this now. But our practice, right, is to rest now, right? Allow the attention, right, to whenever you find yourself thinking, send your attention back into your body and into feeling, right? And this will pull the attention away from the mind. The mind will begin to settle and slow, right, with practice, right? But we also give our energy back to our bodies, for our bodies to then repair, restore, reset. Right, so we'll just take a few moments here resting, right, knowing that this is healthy, this is necessary, right, to rest not only in body but also in mind. And so just keep coming back to the way the body feels and relaxing more and more and more and more with each moment. to deepen your breath here, using your breath to reawaken the body. And allow some small movements to come back into your fingers and your toes, your hands, your feet, your arms, your legs. When you're ready, you can bend your knees. Make your way to lie on either side in the fetal position. Just taking a few moments on your side. And pressing up to seated whenever you are ready. Bring your hands to your heart. Coming back into the energy of you. Noticing how you feel, thanking yourself for your practice. And I thank you as well. Namaste. Yay. Thank you guys for joining.